Welcome. Welcome, everybody. This is another show of Studio 6 Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Hill, with my co-host, Jane Speak. And this episode, we have a special guest, and her name is Sara Yettaw. She's a medium on TikTok. She's very good on TikTok. She's got a lot of followers. Um, I'll kind of let her kind of tell a little bit about what she does and how she does it. I'm very blessed to have her as a friend on TikTok and other places on the social media. So go ahead, take it away.
Okay, cool. So I am a medium and tarot reader on TikTok. I started this journey last year, and I was very drawn to tarot. I've been a medium all my life. Any other mediums know? People say, when did it start? When did you know you had a gift? It's like when you were born. Like, we've had ghosts chasing us since we were little, I started the tarot thing last year, and I was very, very drawn to working with energy healing. And so I became a Reiki master. And so my readings, I don't consider them tarot readings. I don't do like the love readings or anything like that. I do what's called guidance readings. So I like to see what part of your journey that you're on, and I like to help you move forward on that journey. When it comes to my tarot, when it comes to my mediumship, I do consider that a way of healing. A lot of people need closure when it comes to losing a lost loved one. And I love that I'm able to be able to deliver messages from those that have passed. And it's lighthearted. It's fun. I'm honest. I don't sugarcoat anything. And people like that I'm real about what I do. I've had spirits come through, that I've laughed through the entire thing, and I've had spirits come through where I've lost my professionalism and I've cried. I love what I do. I love helping others, and being able to use my gifts and my abilities to do that just makes it 10 times better. I love it. It's a blast. I have fun.
Yeah, I've caught you a couple times on TikTok, and you've done a couple readings for me. So yeah, it looks like you enjoy exactly what you're doing. What were you gonna say, Shane?
No, I just said that was really cool.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about some of the difficulties in doing TikTok and doing readings?
Yes. Oh, it comes with it. Yeah. So religion is a huge thing. I don't judge other people for what they believe. I do believe there's a higher being. My higher being may not be God. Somebody else's higher being may not be God. I do believe that we're all entitled to our own opinions. We're all entitled to our own beliefs. Being a tarot reader or a medium on TikTok, I get attacked a lot. I get attacked for, I get told to repent for my sins, or, Jesus loves me, which a lot of people don't understand. What I do is not technically witchcraft. It can be considered witchcraft, but it's not technically witchcraft. But I get attacked a lot. My lives, I get suspended a lot. Because people just don't believe in what I do. I get called a scam artist, which, that's fine. Whatever. You believe what you believe. But my biggest...
real quick, how is your connection? You're a little... you're kind of...
It may not be good. It says it's good, but it may not be good.
Okay.
Is it all right?
Enough. It's working. It's working.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Keep it going.
Yeah, keep it going.
Okay. All right. So TikTok is a hard platform. TikTok is huge. We've seen waves be made in the world when it comes to TikTok. Unfortunately, when it comes to tarot readings and mediumship, there's so many skeptics, and it's so easy to click that button that says, let's just block this person, or let's suspend this person's lives. I've been able to reach so many people in such a short amount of time. I can't even tell you how many readings I've done, because it's in the hundreds, possibly thousands. I don't know. So many readings that I've done, to where I've helped people. And it was a platform that literally my husband and I started because our kids were on it, and we were like, let's make these funny dancing videos, you know, and it turned into this whole big thing, and it's really it's skyrocketed. It's been insane.
Right.
Lots of fun though. Lots of fun.
Yeah. So, have you thought about doing some of those lives on Facebook?
I have done a live on Facebook, and I was attacked. I had a couple girls go in on me that I was a scam artist, and I ended the live. I was like, I'm not doing this negativity. That's not what I'm about. And you know, it's so when you're on TikTok and you're doing a live, you have the ability to block and mute people on your personal live. And there's been so many times that I've just wanted to maybe try and give my side of things, like my opinion. You know, when people come in and they're like, repent, like Jesus loves you, and I just want to be like, you know, Jesus loves you too. I know he loves me, but like, can you just scroll by? You know, like it's so easy to just. And a lot of tarot readers, we know that you block and you mute, and that's what our readings. And it really sucks, but it's, you know, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. Facebook, I will never do that again. I have done Instagram, and I did like Instagram. So maybe go there, but I like TikTok.
Right. It's just, we had me and Elizabeth Merrickman from the Paranormal Funhouse, the medium there, we did a show last night on Facebook. And we had a good, you know, we did readings for people. We probably had 4 or 5 maybe people that we could fit in. I mean, we were on for almost 2 hours. I was wiped. I'm still kind of wiped from last night. So, we didn't really run into anything like that. So, but yeah, when you kind of go live public like that, I think then you're kind of opening yourself up. But you don't know until you try it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But.
And so my biggest thing, I really believe firmly that the energy and the vibrations that we put into the universe is brought back to us. And for some reason, people that are coming into this, and this is new to them, but they're coming into their abilities, they're very drawn to me. And I don't know if it's the light I give out. I'm not 100% sure, but it really frustrates me when they see these people attack me, and they're afraid to kind of step out of their comfort zone because they're afraid they're going to get that same retaliation. I've had multiple people that have come to me, and now they have their own tarot and mediumship. You know, they're out there doing readings, and they're out there doing this stuff. But it really makes me sad for people that are really afraid to step out of their comfort zone, and then they see me get attacked. You know, I think I have like 12,000 followers or 13,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
And for people to come and attack me, it sometimes it just infuriates me, and I just, you know, me being female, I want to come back at them, but I maintain that professionalism because I want to show these people, hey, it's okay to be who you are. There's a block button on here for a reason. Keep doing what you're doing, you know, and it really does, like, it's so intimidating to people. They're just trying to be themselves, and I think that's the most frustrating part. It doesn't hurt me. I don't care. Like, come on and say what you want to say. If I don't like it, I'll block it. You know, have a good day.
Right. I actually had.
People, yes, it is intimidating.
Yeah, I actually had on our one of mine and Shane's shows that we did. It was on YouTube. I posted it, and there was this lady that made this long comment about how evil basically we are, and
she needs to find
our
another
guests
channel.
are evil.
Yeah, you will always have people like that. You will always have people like that. It's okay, and I can tell people it's okay to sit back and be the big person. It's okay.
Yeah, and I get it from the other way. You know, I get occasionally, you know, bad messages from the, you know, the mediums and the this and the that. You know, they're like, well, you science people just don't understand us, and you know, it's not that cut and dry, and all this. I get those too. So
yeah. See, I like that. I like that side of it. I like the scientific side. I think it's cool. I'm like, that's neat.
Holy crap!
All kinds of things.
Holy
Yeah,
crap! I
let's
mean,
get answers
all of
for
a
things.
sudden everything just went black, and then all of a sudden I lost my internet. And
Nope, you're working.
You're
okay.
here. You look.
Yeah, you're here.
So yeah, then I was talking about that, you know, that whole statement and that lady, and I was like, you know, it's just crazy, you know, that some people would take the time to make that whole dissertation, you know. I don't know, it was just weird, but
yeah.
So yeah.
I don't have time in my day to attack other people, so.
Yeah, me either. I'm a zero drama if I can be. I do not care.
Right. I'm just like, okay, yeah, it doesn't.
Right.
I don't want it for me.
You don't like me, change the channel.
Right.
Yeah, there
exactly.
you go.
Keep scrolling.
Motion. Very easy.
Right.
Yep. Keep scrolling.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that. You were wanting to get into like paranormal investigations. What are your thoughts on that?
So being younger, you know, I had this gift and it was really weird to me. And this was before like the ghost hunters and all that stuff came out. And when I realized that I had a gift, it was about the time that Dead Files came out. I don't know if you know what that show is. So it's a psychic medium that works with a guy that I guess he used to do like, what was he, like a detective of some sort?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is cool. This is really cool. And so I'm not a medium that taps into energies unless I'm given the okay, because I feel like I'm overstepping my boundaries. I know like the Gabby Petito case was a huge thing. And a lot of people would get on my lives and say, connect to Gabby. And I'm like, that's not my place. You know, I can't.
Right.
That's not okay. I think it would be so cool though, to be able to connect with like missing person cases. And I have accidentally tapped into some, the Delphi case in Indiana. I had another medium get on and she was like, can you do a reading for me? And she's like, I'm trying to figure out this missing persons case. She didn't say anything about it. And I kid you not, I swear on my life, I saw somebody say something about horses in my chat, because the chat comes pretty fast. And somebody said something about horses. I swear somebody said something about horses. And I'm like, did somebody say something about horses? And me being a horse girl, I'm like, ooh, you know, what did everybody say? Like, I'm so excited. And the girl goes, did you say something about horses? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm scrolling, trying to find it. I cannot find this. And she's like, well, they used horses to try and find these girls. And I'm like, okay, hold on a minute. And I said, so I feel like I'm by a river right now. And she's like, okay, go on, you know. And I'm like, I see a bridge, like this big bridge. I don't think it's used anymore. And she's like, no way. And she's like, I'm studying these Delphi cases. And so I told her what I saw. And she's like, that's not what I saw. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's fine. I kind of took a step back from it. And I'm not one of those that I look up cases and I find everything that I can so I can try and find out about these people. It's just, it comes into me. And with the Gabby Petito thing, that was a huge thing on TikTok. I mean, that was big. It was huge. Know. There were so many detectives and so many mediums came out of the woodwork. They knew all this stuff. Well, what people don't know is I went to school in Wyoming for horses. So I know the layout of the land. And I was actually by the Grand Teton Mountains. That's where my school was. And I was doing a reading, and I like to write during my readings because things come to me so fast. And I have this issue with not listening to the very first message that is brought on to me. And so I started like, I'll write down things. And I'm like, man, there's this girl and she's like in her 20s and she's blonde and everybody's catching on except for me. I'm like, she's kind of hysteric. I don't know what's going on. And everybody's like, keep going. And I'm like, and then it hit me and I'm like, not doing this. But Gabby was so persistent. And I think it was because everybody was wanting me to pick up on her. They were kind of drawing this in on me. You know, so I wrote down and I told my husband, which I can tell you now because, you know, they found out about Brian and everything. And I told my husband, I'm like, there's something about water. There's a lot of water and I don't get it. And, you know, we found out later on his body they couldn't find his body because of the water. whatever. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that this girl was suffocated because I felt like I could not breathe. Found out that he suffocated her. And, you know, and I told my husband, I'm like, all these mediums are talking about these yellow stones and these red stones. I'm like, I don't see that. I see washed out river stones. They found her in that spot, you know, but I kept that to myself. You know, I kept it to myself because I didn't want to put myself out there and end up being wrong. Everything that I was on, pretty much everything though, you know, and but I think it'd be so cool. And I have kids. I'm a mom. I have 4 children. And you know, if one of my kids came up.
You are brave.
I have 2, and that's enough.
I am. You know, but if one of my kids came up missing and somebody came up to me and they're like, "Hey, I have this gift and I think I know where your kid is," I'd be like, "All right, let's sit down and talk. You know, do you want coffee? Yeah. Do you want beer? What do you need? Because I want to find my child." You know, but I think that'd be so cool. And Jay knows this. Shane, you don't know me very well. My husband found my biological father who had been searching for me. He was actually in law enforcement, and now he does like restoration businesses, but he's able to clean up like crime scenes. And I'm like, Dad, I want to do that. Like, you have a certificate. I want to do it. And he's like, with your gift, I think that would be a bad idea. I'm like, but would it be cool if I could clean it up and solve the crime at the same time?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
You get hired cool. Everywhere.
Right. Talk about a pay jump, you know. But yeah.
Right. That's what I said.
So I got a question. So
okay.
What do you think about this big trend of the paranormal people and the psychics, etc., all trying to contact recently deceased celebrities like Betty White and all this stuff? I mean, what is your view on that? It just seems kind of rough to me, but
okay. It is. It's for clout. Yeah. Going back, like just with the Gabby Petito thing, I feel personally that it was all for views, for likes. So a spirit is not going to come through until they're ready. Your spirit guide team is not going to let them come through until they're ready. Okay, let's look at it this way. Why would you go up and talk to a random person when they're like, okay, so as a medium, if I'm talking to, say, Jay, it's backwards. If I'm talking to Jay and he's like, can you connect to my mom? Now, Jay and I have connected with Jay. So his mom is going to come through a lot easier, right? Because I have this connection with her son. Why would Betty White come through to me when she doesn't know me? Do you see what I'm saying? I really
just see
think
that
it's
all
all
the
for
time.
clout. I've never tried to reach out to a celebrity, just because it's not my. It's not my place. Like, I don't. And not only that, but I don't know. So I was doing a reading for a gentleman, and his dad was actually the one that wrote a lot of his music.
Okay.
I wouldn't have connected with him had I not been sitting there with his son, though.
Sure.
You know, it's I don't know. I don't like to overstep boundaries, and so I'm very careful about who I connect to.
Yeah.
Very much. But I really think the whole connecting to the celebrities thing and the spirit boxes, be very careful. Be very careful, because you won't actually know who's coming. I can change my voice like Britney Spears. You know, be very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. There's a lot of people that, not a lot, but I mean, there's, to each his own.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think that, you know, unless you're prompted to, being a medium or being, you know, psychic or something. And I'm a firm believer that if you're prompted to do something, that's the way I kind of work. You know, if I'm prompted to do this, if I feel led that I'm going to do a live or that I'm going to, you know, speak to somebody or this person that comes to me and I have that connection, then yeah. But I mean, if I have no business being in Yellowstone or wherever, you know, and looking for somebody unless I am prompted to do so, you know. And so I think that's just.
See, my thing is, if I was a medium, I'd probably be too nosy. I'd be in everybody's business. I'd be like, I wonder what that person thinks. I wonder what that person thinks. Huh.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to connect with the guy in traffic across me that just cut me off. Well, so that would be probably better that I don't really have anything, because maybe I wouldn't be so nice.
Yeah, that's funny.
Just thinking about it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. I do.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like,
Let's show that guy.
Or sometimes it just kind of jumps out and you can't avoid it, you know. But,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, we've been to my husband and I love to travel, and we've been to places where I've had to leave because I'm like, somebody got hung or somebody died in here and I can't breathe, babe. I gotta go. And he's like,
yeah.
I was enjoying this. And I'm like, you enjoy it. I'm going outside.
Right. I've ran into buildings like the Stanley Hotel and did that where I about fainted. I walked into one of the rooms. Yeah, one of the rooms, and that was before actually I knew I was gifted, but not like that. You know, I knew I was sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
It was years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that totally I can relate to, because yeah, sometimes you walk into a place and it's overwhelming, you know, or where's this anxiety coming from, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about is this your full-time business, or do you have
yes.
like another job that you do, or oh, okay.
Well,
that's cool.
If you consider being a mom a stay-at-home mom a job, then
that's pretty tough.
That's a pretty tough job.
Tough.
You know, that's yeah.
You're brave.
It is. I don't know how many times in my live readings, like, the kids have been screaming in the background, and I'm like, I literally started this as just this little thing, like, give me a donation and I'll give you a reading type of thing. And then people were like, no, you're really good at this. You should be charging more. And I'm like, I don't know what to do, you know? And it just started small, and just as my name got out there, like, it blew up. And it was, at first it was very overwhelming. And now it's just, this is what I'm here to do. And I accept it. And I take it in strides. So how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
my husband, you kind of have to take it in stride.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
It's not.
Oh, yes.
It's not always easy in that sense, especially. I mean, just getting started. You know. I mean, it's just. But Shane, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you know anybody that lives by you that's a medium that you talk to on a okay basis?
No, other than you. You're about as
really?
Well, yeah, I talk to a lot of scientists, a lot of PhD level professors.
Yeah.
A lot of electronics tinkerers type people, you know, that ghost equipment, whatnot. But mediums, they're kind of on their own little zone, and they just, I mean, I have a lot of them in my friends list, but I don't know them personally. I mean, most of them are far away. Some of them are even in the UK and Australia, and who knows. Right.
So, Sarah, do you have a lot of friends by you that are same like-minded, or are you just like Shane? Do you have friends on Facebook or friends on TikTok, or?
I can't think about that.
They can't be too close.
So I worked at a place doing tarot readings, and there were a couple of girls there. I don't want to say they were mediums, but they did have gifts and talents. Yes. Not really though. No. I think somebody told me there's one other in my town, but I've never met her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Never.
And that's why I'm asking. I mean, this is leading up to something here. I'm curious to see, like, the collection of different mediums around in, like, different areas, and the concentrated energy, you know, kind of basically, you know what I mean? So if there's a lot of energy, like with Shane, because you had said that you had a couple, like, did a test with medium. Remember when you said you used to? Okay, and that was in Michigan.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no, that was in Ohio.
Oberlin, Ohio. Okay. Yeah. So my question, I guess, is just, I'm trying to figure out if there's like a connection with, having mediums and a lot of mediums in one location and compared to the paranormal activity in that location. You know what I mean? Is the energy from those mediums contributing to that paranormal activity? You know what I mean? Not that they're causing it, but I'm just saying because of the fact that usually when I go to a haunted location or something like that, because of the fact that they could see my light, or they can, even with another medium I knew that she, somebody says it really wasn't haunted, but as soon as she showed up, everything kind of amped up. You know what I mean? So I guess it's just, do you think that there's a connection, Sarah, with that?
So it was explained to me when I found out that I had this gift by a legit, I think she was a psychic. I'm not sure what she was. She did a couple readings on me. They were dead on. So I kind of believe what she says. So mediums are like flames for a moth. That we are kind of like when our channel opens, which I know like Jay's a medium, we can kind of block if we don't want to like discuss things with the other side and everything like that. We have control of our boundaries. So when we open that, it's like moths to a flame. And I have done readings where I've had people step through, and if you've been on my live, I go through this process of verifying who I'm talking to, because somebody else could have come through from somebody else that was in my room, that they really wanted to talk to him. And so they're sending all these vibes my way, and they're kind of opening that channel for me. And so that spirit will come in, but it's not for the person I'm reading for. And so I don't want to, I do agree on a level of, it might amp it up because the spirits are like, oh, hey, look, food, or, whatever.
Right.
But on the other sense, I mean, there's energy, spirits are energy, and energy is everywhere. But that's how it was explained to me when you're a medium, is that it's like you're the flame and they're the moth, is what it was explained to me. So yeah, I agree.
That's kind of what I was getting at too. It was kind of like I didn't know what I didn't know what your view was on that, and so I was kind of just I was picking your brain, So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the like-minded that's similar. It's a moth to a flame, but yeah. So what I want to do is I kind of want to have Shane get read.
Sure.
So I'd like you to read Shane. I don't know. This has kind of been eating at me. So,
okay.
So anybody that's watching this, if you want to see Sarah in action here, who's seeing this, then get your friends, whoever, to watch this, and come in the chat room and discuss stuff, whatever. But this is gonna be a first for me, and I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy this.
It'll be a first for me too. So
Okay, there you go. First on the show.
Oh, I didn't know Shane hasn't been read. Okay, so I said
man.
so I knew coming on. Let me get back. I knew coming on the podcast that Shane is a skeptic, and I told Shane before we got on, I was like, challenge accepted. So I was watching the podcast earlier just to be prepared, because I have social anxiety even behind the camera. And I was picking up on a very strong female energy that was connected to Shane. I don't know if it's like a maternal, so I don't know if it's like grandmother or mother, but a very, very strong female, and she's very connected. So when I say very connected, it means that you guys were close in life, okay? So you're going to know this person. It's not going to be like your great-great aunt or anything like that.
Sure.
But I do feel there's a very strong female to you. And I almost get this sense of like it's hard for me to breathe, so I'm not sure if there's any breathing issues with her. So a lot of times to verify, unfortunately, I get the feeling of what they felt like when they were sick or when they passed of the job. But not sure if there's a female that you were connected with that kind of had like it's very strong, and I feel like it's in my lungs. It's not so much in my chest, so it's not my heart. It's very much in my lungs. But I literally was watching the videos earlier, and I kind of felt like this was going to come up, and I was like, there's a strong female that you were connected to, and I don't know if it was grandmother or mother. Like I don't know you. I did not Google you. I have no idea. But like I said, I definitely get the sense of some sort of breathing issue. It could have very well been very, very much towards the end. It's kind of how it works. So not sure if that resonates with you at all.
That could be a couple people, actually.
If it does, you are very connected, because I literally watched earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, because both my mother and my
picking up on it.
Grandmother have breathing issues all the time.
It resonates.
Oh,
I don't know if we're having. I might be having connection issues, but that's on me.
there you go.
Are you still there?
Oh, she's stuck.
You're either both frozen or not blinking.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Are you picking up that? Are you picking up more so the mother, the grandmother, or? Oh, she froze.
Am I picking up a mother?
A mother or grandmother, like when you were talking.
Fair. Okay, see if this works.
Hey, that's better.
Is that better connection?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's better connection.
Yes, it is by far.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, perfect. Yay. My husband just messaged me and was like, "You're on Wi-Fi, get off of it." And I was like, okay. Okay, so I have strong female connection,
Okay.
Breathing issues.
Yep.
It might have been towards the end. Okay. But this person was very like, okay, so I'm getting the feeling of like very, very protective over you.
Maybe.
And I'm also getting like kind of like this woman, I don't feel like she sugarcoated anything. If you wanted her opinion, you better be ready for the truth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I don't know if this is, I feel like, did she have a lot of children? What is with them? I'm feeling very maternal for some reason. So I'm not sure if she had a lot of children or if she was just one of those people that was like, okay, I like you. You're my baby now.
Yeah. I mean, she only had just my dad. My grandma did. So she only had one person.
Okay.
Now my mom had two of us. So if it was her, and both of them were pretty much as you described. So it could be either one.
Okay. So I almost think it's mom. Like I said, I didn't know you.
Yeah.
And I don't try and throw that out there because some people will be like, oh, does this mean my mom's going to die? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to like shock her at them. So yeah, I'm getting that. So she's very connected to you. And so she's on my right side, which tells me that she is with you quite often. And I feel like you might feel her there sometimes. Like, and I tell a lot of people, when you feel people, it doesn't necessarily mean that you feel like they're touching you or they're right there. Sometimes you're doing something and it brings back a memory, or you think the thought of, God, I wish mom was here right now. She would love this. And the reason you thought that thought is because she's like, hey, I'm here. Just so you know, I'm here. I'm enjoying this with you, you know. I'm getting, did she tell you to eat your vegetables a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I taste peas.
And I like vegetables, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, I taste peas in my mouth, almost like she's like, eat your vegetables. Like,
yeah.
Yes.
Vegetables happen.
Yes.
My brother fought it a lot more than I did. I love the vegetables.
Gotcha. So that's just letting her know, like, hey, it's me, and her telling me, you know, her being on my right side, which I don't know if it's backwards on the camera, but her being on my right side is just telling me to let you know that she is with you quite often. And when you do think of her and think of, man, I wish mom was here to enjoy this with me, or mom would love this, she just wants to let you know, like, she is there and she is loving it. And what I explain to people, people ask me, the number one question I get, are they with me? Are they here? So spirit is an energy. So spirit can be in multiple places at once. Okay. So mom can be with your brother and she can also be with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yes, being with you. Absolutely. She's with you. And she's very connected because literally I got her when I was watching videos of you earlier. So very connected and very protective as well. So
yeah, that would be neat.
So like gut feelings that you get that something's not right, it might be mom kind of poking you, saying, I don't know if you should do that. So yeah, definitely. I picked up on her earlier. I didn't want to say it was mom because I didn't want to, like, you know, run the wrong way with it, but very strong female energy. And she's very, very still looking out for you, obviously, with the vegetables, you know, still take care of yourself.
The wife is always on that one.
Yes.
So do you have, like, can you do like a psychic reading for him? Not a mediumship reading, but like a psychic reading. You know, like basically.
So I don't have my cards. I would have to have mom kind of lead me. Going off of what mom is telling me, definitely something about being more conscious about your health. Be more aware of your physical, what is happening physically. When it comes to, so this isn't mom, this is more like spirit guides. When it comes to being open-minded, try to be a little more open-minded to certain things.
Sure.
Also, I'm getting really like, so when I tell people, a lot of people don't know this, and I've never explained this. When I tell people to step out of their comfort zone, do you remember in the 80s when they had the fuzzy dice on the car window, on the car mirror? Yeah, so I see those. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, okay?
Sure.
And I tell people this a lot because when we step out of our comfort zone, it opens up so many more opportunities for us. I had to step out of my comfort zone to start doing readings online. I've never done readings for strangers, ever. Sure. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and now I've met this whole network of people, and it's growing, you know. So don't be afraid to do that, okay? And that's more of a message from the universe and from your higher self trying to get you up where you need to be.
All right, sure. So now I have a question. Speaking of getting outside of the comfort zone, have you ever done any actual controlled studies where you would use either your spirits or your own mental capacities to, you know, interact with equipment of any kind? Have you ever tried that?
Not yet. Oh, okay. So actually, yes, I have.
Okay.
I can't. So it's not documented. Does that count?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Give me an anecdote. Let me know.
So there's this app on your phone. I know it sounds crazy. There's this app on your phone. It's called GhostTube, and the kids were convinced that our basement was haunted. And I'm like, you know what? I'll show you physical proof. And Ben just brought me my tarot cards.
Nice.
So it shows physical proof, right? And I contacted a friend of mine, and I'm like, hey, I think there's this boy spirit in my basement. So I have her on FaceTime on my phone. I have GhostTube going on my daughter's phone.
Okay.
And I'm connecting with her, and she's connecting through me to the spirit. And as she's trying to connect to this spirit, it comes up on GhostTube and it says no. And she's like, I lost connection. I can't connect to this kid. And I'm like, girl, it just said no.
Yeah.
Then he says something about, and in my mind, I keep seeing the Jungle Book. Do you remember when you would get the books that had the gold binder and they were real thin?
Those are the golden series. Yep.
Yes. I kept seeing the Jungle Book. And it said on the GhostTube book. And then we were sitting outside, and there was this old, like, I thought it was a side table. Apparently it wasn't. There was this old table sitting behind me, and it said on the table. And we turned, because we were asking him, like, where are you at? Where are you at? We got toys out for him. And I turned, and we're not catching on. I turn around, I see this table. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's sitting on the table watching us. And that's the only experience I've had. Now, what I love, if y'all want to put like those things on my head and I'll do readings, I'm down. I think that would be so cool. Just to see the frequencies and the vibrations, I would be down. That's the only, I think, like technically with technology experience I've ever had though. Yeah.
So basically what we've done in the past, we actually went to a church that was a psychic healing, Reiki masters, you know, all of that stuff. I mean, this place was filled with crystals. It had a big copper pyramid with a chair in it and crystals everywhere. I mean, this thing was like done up. Yeah. And we contacted them and said, okay, send us your 3 best, you know, psychic people. Okay. And so they actually sent the pastor and 2 Reiki healers, and they had them meet us at their place. So we're trying to do everything to give these people a chance to show their stuff, you know? And so I have this sensor board. It does autonomous readings. It records everything every second, you know, everything in the area, EMFs, ions, radiation, temperature changes, barometric pressure, everything. Every second it records this stuff. So we literally took the sensor board and I asked them, okay, where's the best place to put this so that you guys can connect and do things? And they actually had me set it on the chair inside the big copper pyramid, because they said that was the center for their energy. And, you know, and they hung some crystals inside there right above the board. They did this whole thing. They did this ritual, probably took 10 minutes. And yeah, so they did this ritual, you know, then we gave them each a half an hour so they could go in by themselves, one at a time. You know, they couldn't get close to the board, you know, they're maybe 5 feet from it. And we videotaped this whole event. And so each of them went in there for their half-hour session. Some of them did some kind of yoga looking thing at first. Some of them did nothing. They just started talking kind of like they were in a paranormal investigation. Some of them kind of did this breathing exercise. I don't know exactly how they were doing that. So they were doing that. And then the whole idea was, can you produce any kind of measurable environmental change? Or can you direct a spirit to do so? And if so, let us know, you know, because we're recording all this, what it did. Now, they did all that. They all came out feeling pretty confident that, yeah, that was pretty easy. We should be able to do this. But then, you know, when we actually took out the computer data and did the graphs and did the statistics, did the math, you know, did all the things to it, it's like there was no real change from baseline on anything for the entire hour and a half that they were, you know, each in there doing their thing. So it's like, okay. And then when I kind of described that to them and then let them see the data, you know, on the screen, okay, here it is. We went over it right there. And they were just like, well, I don't know, maybe the energies just weren't aligned today. Or, you know, I mean, they had all these excuses. It's like, dude, I didn't have any, you know, there was no bias in this. It's a computer doing the logging, you know, and you have, you know, you're in your own space, you're in your own room, you're in your own church even, you know, mathematically nothing happened, you know. Right. So I hate to, like, you know, put that as a negativity towards any of the mediums or any of the people. Right. But it was like, okay, what else can I do to help? You know, I can't channel it myself. So, you know, you guys had your chance, you know, and granted, that's only 3 people, but it's also supposed to be 3 of their best, you know. So it's like, okay, can you do the show or not, you know? Yeah. And as far as the math and the, you know, and the numbers and the graphs and the charts and everything that came out, it's like nothing. I mean, the only thing we could really see that changed was every time the furnace kicked on, you'd see the temperature come up 2-3 degrees. And also the light levels were changing in the room because the sun was setting and it was starting to come in the windows. But everything else was nothing. Just nothing. Yeah. Yeah. So I was wondering what your take on that. I mean, that was my first attempt at a real controlled experiment to give them
Yeah.
every advantage they could get.
Yeah. So I am a Reiki master,
Okay.
which is the highest level that you can be.
Sure.
None of them meditated during this at all.
They did, yeah. They sat
Okay.
they sat there and they did their breathing thing, and you know
Okay.
they did the whole thing. About the first 10 minutes of their half an hour was that. It's from what I could see from the videos.
Gotcha. Okay. So I was drawn to Reiki because I had a Reiki session done on myself.
Okay.
And so I'm laying in this room and I've got my eyes closed and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if she sees my deepest, darkest secrets, whatever.
Yeah.
But as she's doing this energy thing, which I had my eyes closed, so I didn't know what they did during Reiki at the time, right? And as she would hit certain parts and the energy would hit, like my muscles were twitching.
Sure.
And to me, I'm like, okay, this is real. Like this is a real thing.
Yeah.
So I got into the study of Reiki, and it's actually like a Japanese, like a meditative energy healing. Like, so to be a Reiki master, you have to, like, after you get your attunement, you have to do actually 10 days of meditation.
Okay.
It's not 24/7, but there's like these meditations you have to do for 10 days after.
Sure.
And it's like it's really a state of mind. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's a huge state of mind. So I did what's called a distance Reiki session, and there's these like symbols that you use and everything. I did it on one of my friends, and she forgot that I was supposed to do it on her. So I messaged her results and everything, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that's why I'm so calm today. My kid is driving me nuts, and I haven't snapped on him. I've been fine,
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this does work. This is great. So the only issue I have about Reiki, my only issue, it's called Usui. There's different forms of Reiki. Is that once they found out that people believed in this and that this was a thing, it was very quickly turned into a monetary thing. And I kind of feel like
everything.
Yes. And I kind of feel like, so Reiki's all about good vibes, and I kind of feel like that might have mixed with bad vibes. It was literally, they pushed it to the US to make money.
Yeah.
From Japan. Sure. And so that's the only issue I have with Reiki. Other than that, like as a Reiki master, when I'm doing my readings, I'll pick up on the different chakras on people. Sure. My throat will start hurting, and I'll say, do you have issues with communicating? And people will be like, well, yeah. Or I'll feel it in my heart chakra. And so maybe that's how it's helped me personally. These people couldn't get off. Maybe it's the universe was like, this is not a puppet show, so I'm not going to say anything on these computers.
It kind of hinted to that. Well, maybe it just wasn't the day for the energy or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then the other thing is like, okay, it seems to me, I mean, this is just logic, but I don't know if it's the correct logic, but it's like, okay, if you can, from a long distance, produce enough energy to, work on people's muscles, relax them, cause temperature changes, things like that. It seems like, if you can do that from halfway across the globe, you should be able to do that from 5 feet away.
Right. Yeah.
Do a simple thing as, hey, can you raise the temperature 5 degrees?
Yeah.
It's just something basic, And the other thing is it maybe that you can't influence material things, only people?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? I mean, is it maybe just impossible for them to actually influence a piece of equipment, whereas they can influence a person some other way through their subconscious or whatever?
Through frequency.
Yeah. Well, look at it in the sense of, okay, so I'm big on manifestation. I'm big on the law of attraction, right? Which is not even anything in the realm of anything that I do. Like, successful people do this. There's been books written on the law of attraction, right?
Okay.
Let's look at positive affirmations. Okay. So you get up every day and you say, I am successful. I am whatever you want to be. I am rich. Yeah. I'm a badass female. You start to believe that and you start to act that way. When it comes to manifestation, which scientifically is manifestation even real? And that's kind of, I like looking at it in that way. Can I think of this material thing and it happens. No, nobody can make anything appear.
Okay.
That's just how it is. But can I put this thought into my mind to where it makes it easier for me to work towards this material thing?
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Absolutely.
Sure. I mean, even non-psychic people like me psych ourselves up that way. I mean,
exactly.
So.
Yes. And that's why I believe when it comes to like energies, frequencies, stuff like that, it's all here. It's really all here. Now, I think if you do one of those experiments again, though, and you do go into the Reiki field, have somebody actually do a Reiki session on a live person right there, and then see what happens. See if you pick anything up off that.
Right.
Have them actually, put their hands over this person and do their gift. I think that might be different.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to think that when it comes to Reiki, it's really hard for me to think that they could, it's not like they could pull in these, these powers and stuff like that. But I think maybe having an actual Reiki session going on with a live person right there, it might show something different.
I can arrange for that to happen.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to see, because I mean, literally, like, I have a video saved on my TikTok of a girl. They're doing energy. Actually, I have no idea what they're doing, but it's energy. I think they call it healing or something like that. And this girl's like, her legs are having spasms. And then, like I said, my muscles were twitching. So what kind of energy was that, to physically make my muscles move?
Yeah, but it must be mental energy of some type, because I mean, currently, the sensor board picks up almost the entire spectrum of everything that exists that you can pick up.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's physics, it's picking it up and recording it. And it's like, wow. I was almost actually surprised that they wasn't able to do it, because they seemed so confident and they seemed, oh yeah, this will be no big deal. I'll do this all, no problem.
Yeah.
And then, I was actually surprised when the graphs come back and stuff. I was like, well, I don't know, nothing happened. It just sat there. The air conditioner turned on and off. That's it.
Wow.
And and then they kind of diverted it quick, and I was like, all right, whatever. But and we still have all the data and all the videos and all the stuff. If you ever are interested, you could watch it and see. Maybe they didn't, turn this one crystal the way they needed to turn it to do something. I don't know what. Because two of them had crystals that they were holding, and like I say, it was inside their big pyramid thing, so it's like, I don't know.
And copper's a conduit. It's basically like a connectional. Connection.
Well, and I had them lead me as much as I could. It's like, okay, what's the best place I can put this? What's going to make it the easiest for you to do? What things can I,
Maybe it was just overkill. I don't know.
I don't know, but I expected something,
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Kind
anyway,
of
that was my attempt at contacting the spirit world through equipment.
Well, I don't think it's done. I mean, I think we'll be.
Oh, I'm doing it again. No doubt.
Yeah.
I'll find more of you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll find more of you guys, and I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yes, have them do a live Reiki session right there and see what happens. I'm curious now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and if you want to participate, we can get offline sometime. I can put the board, start it going, give you the location, and you can hack
and
it.
I was just thinking about that too, that we should be able to
I could bring it on the next show sometime.
Yeah, there's no boundary, there's no distance. We've discussed that on another show where we've been able to manipulate, or not manipulate, but connect with spirits from other places and vice versa. So I think that energy is saying it's all energy. So I don't see why we couldn't. That would be an interesting show to do.
So here's the question then. So when you guys are doing your healings or whatever, are you projecting your own energy to the other person, or are you just telling the spirits, hey, can you go do something and help that person?
So here's the cool thing about Reiki.
Okay.
Reiki versus like my mediumship readings.
Okay.
When I do my mediumship readings, it takes energy from me. I get worn out.
Sure.
Reiki is basically, in order to get Reiki, you have to agree to get it. I can't send either of you Reiki without you saying, okay.
I understand.
I can't just be like, send Shane some Reiki. It doesn't work like that.
I see.
The cool part about Reiki is that when I heal others, it also heals me as well. Like I get part of that energy, and I'm just like, send it to
That's pretty cool.
person. I'm never tired after. It's like basically like I'm a conduit. Like I just, here you go. Here's where it needs to go. And I don't have to technically go through each chakra. From what I was taught is that the energy goes where it needs to go.
Okay.
And then I just asked the universe, I'm like, hey, can they keep that for like 7 days in case you miss some? Is that cool? You know, I'm very chill about this stuff. You can ask, like, I'm not by the book. I'm just like, hey, it'd be all right if you did this, you know?
Yeah. One of the other tests that we did through the university was we had people attempt to influence either random number generators or dice tosses.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically the way it worked is you had like a glass jar with a piece of with a die in it, so you could shake it and there's no way you could touch it and influence it. And then you would do that like 100, like I would do it like 100 times, write the numbers down, and then send it to the psychic person for them to do it. And the whole idea was for them to make it not as random, like make one number come up more than the others. And you can find the papers. We've got papers published on that if you look around a bit. And so the idea was to see if they could influence, you know, the randomness and random numbers. Have you ever tried anything like that? Uh-oh.
There we go.
There you go. So have you, you know, so I don't know how much of that you missed, but basically the idea was for the person to influence the random numbers, to make one number come up more than another, etc. Now, during those tests, we did find a few university students that could repeatedly alter the amount of randomness. So, you know, if you said, okay, can you make 4s come up more than any of the other dice rolls? And then we'd have them do it 100, 500. I mean, we do a huge number of these.
Yeah.
There were a couple people that could statistically alter it such that certain numbers would come up more than chance.
Interesting.
Have you ever tried anything like that?
I have.
Oh, good.
Okay. So and my husband can attest to this. So it wasn't any type of university study. It had nothing to do with dice.
Okay.
We were joking around. Oh, we were doing magic tricks. We were doing magic tricks with my friends' kids. 16 and 12 were their ages.
Sure.
And the boy was like, you're a witch. I don't believe in witchcraft, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I bet you if you pick a card, I can find it without doing any magic tricks. He's like, okay. And so all I did was kind of ask the universe, you know, guide me to this card. And I would go over the deck with my hand. And when I would feel the energy, kind of a tingling in my hand, or my hand would get hot, I would know, okay, it's like hot or cold, you know?
Oh, okay, cool.
And so I would put so many cards to the side, and I would put so many cards to the side, and then I would be like, okay, it's one of these 3 cards. And then I would finally figure out, you know, which card it was. And my husband kind of played this trick on me, and he had also picked out a card from the deck and was kind of in his mind kind of shouting it at me, you know.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting both of their cards within 10 cards of a 52 card deck, 52 or 54, whatever it is, regular deck of 52, cards.
Yep.
I ended up within 10 cards getting my husband's card that I didn't even know that we were doing this. Sure. And then within, I think it was 3 cards, I got the boys' card as well. And it was just nonstop until finally I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'm old. I've got to go to bed, you know?
Yeah.
But it was just nonstop. And I just kind of, it was like, I just use these frequencies, you know, and it's kind of like when you're doing tarot, like, you know, I kind of do the shuffle thing and let the cards fly. It's cool. People like it, you know, high energy. A lot of them will put the cards down and you'll see them take their hand over and whatever, when they feel that energy, they know to pull that card. You know, it was the same concept, just with a deck of cards, and we were playing around. What would be
interesting would be once you determined which card that you felt like it was, if I could run all of the cards over the sensors to see if that one showed up different than all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really cool.
See, I have all kinds of strength because I think different. I'm not a normal person. I don't have gifts like you guys do, but I have ways of sniffing out, you know.
Yeah.
What you need to get to.
Yeah. So
Yes.
very cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's fun.
Yep. Well, we'll have to hook up sometime, and we'll let you remotely attack the board and see what you can do.
Now you can talk to Sarah a little bit about how remote viewing came on your radar.
Yeah, I just learned about this, that I have this gift. Just so you know.
Okay.
So go easy. I just learned about it not that long ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to tell us how you got that? Or how you got...
There you go. It's working.
Is it? Okay. Yeah.
Tell us how you got your remote viewing.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? Oh, me.
Yeah.
Yes, you.
Yeah. So Jay gets on. He had been on my lives multiple times, and we had talked about, the Studio 6 paranormal and everything like that. And he's like, I'm going to get a reading, which it makes me nervous when other mediums get readings, because I'm like, ugh.
It's like send in the probe.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. I start picking up on the spirit, and I'm like, I'm in this place with old stuff, and I pick up on this female spirit, and then I start picking up on other spirits, and Jay's like, keep going, and he's like, so I actually run my podcast out of this haunted mansion, and I'm like, that's cool. So he messaged me, and we kind of, we talked behind the scenes, and he was like, so there's this thing called remote viewing. I had no idea this was even a thing. And he's like, I think it'd be really cool if we did this live. I'll go through the mansion, give you like a tour of the mansion. You tell me what you think, and we'll kind of come together and see if we pick up on the same thing, which not even through the remote viewing, we were picking up on the same things. And so we set it up, and we're doing this remote viewing, and I keep picking up on this different stuff, and I'm like, hey, I'm drawn to this, I'm drawn to that. I was drawn to the portal. There's actually a portal. There's like 3 doors that they kind of open weird together.
Yep.
There's definitely a portal in there. When he went outside, man, the energy was insane. And we actually, which I do have to go back and look at it, and I completely forgot, we did pick up a ghost on camera. The bottom section of a man's legs. There was a man in shorts standing there.
I gotta be seeing that video.
And me and the viewers, I'm like, I think there's a man. And Jay's like, there's nobody out here. And I'm like, there's a man. I can see his shorts and I can see his legs. There's a man. And it wasn't just me that saw that. So I'm not crazy. But the remote viewing was so cool to be able to be in Tennessee and to be picking up on this stuff. And then Jay started going through the history. They have historic books in the mansion. And I'm like, no, that's the guy that I saw right there. That's the woman that stands at the stairs. That's the woman that I saw right there, And I mean, and Jay and I'm like, I don't really pick up on animals that often. I'm like, I feel like there's a dog. And Jay's like, there is in the carriage house, And so it was like comparing notes, but everything was connecting. And it was really neat. And I've actually practiced with it by looking at pictures, and I'll look at pictures of, like, not necessarily crime scenes, but people that were killed, and then I'll look up and find out how it was done, and I kind of compare what I saw compared to what the cops found and what people confessed to. So it's neat. It's really cool that we can do that on that level. I think it's just the coolest thing ever.
That's cool.
Yeah, it does get a little draining after a while, but yeah, it's pretty sweet. So yeah, there's actually a really good book on remote viewing, and I think I downloaded it onto my phone.
The CIA used to try it all the time. They had entire programs for remote viewing to try to figure out what the enemy, what the Ruskies were up to.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, the government had.
I've read those books, MK Ultra, and
a lot of.
Yeah.
They tried to get,
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, they tried to get all the information from other countries that they were either invading or whatever back in the day.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some good books out there. Look up the MK Ultra and some of those things.
Yep.
There was a full program in the 60s, 70s.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, the book that you can look at is Remote Viewing Secrets, a handbook by Joseph McNeely, I think his name is. Oh, McEneagle. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
crazy.
on Kindle. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a real good book.
I have it's weird because so I have this one time, I will never forget this moment. I was doing this mediumship reading, and I'm explaining, I'm like, which on TikTok is very censored. So you have to be very, very careful about what you say. So you can't say suicide, you can't say murder, you can't say sexually assaulted, stuff like that. And I'm picking up on this domestic violence situation, and I'm explaining what's going on. And I'm like, it's really weird because I feel like this isn't the reason this person died. And this girl hops on and she says, this is about me. This is my life. And she's like, I'm not dead. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was picking up her vibrations, and her energy was just so strong. And I don't know if it was her subconscious reaching out and saying my story needs told or what it was, but the first time that's ever happened that I've done a reading and I picked up on a live person, and it blew my, I have to, like I said, I have to try and keep professionalism, but it blew my mind. I was just, I think I stopped doing readings after that one. I was like, okay guys, I'm kind of tired, It was just because I was blown away. I could not believe that. And then, what is the movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats, where they had the men in the military that did like this thing. Okay.
Brad Pitt.
It made me think of that. I was like, can I make goats go to sleep? This is cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So yeah, I mean, it's and I told you that before, where I see that there's some bigger things coming for you too. So, and I think that you can already sense that. And yeah. So that's just a little taste of, being blown away by that, basically that coming through and saying, hey, I need my story told and the person's alive. That's tricky.
That is different.
Yeah.
Yes. And I felt bad because she's like, does this mean I'm going to die? And I'm like, well, I don't think so, but I don't know what's going on right now. I hope not.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. Well, I think that's about all the time we have, but I want to thank our guest, Sara Yettaw. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been really fun. So,
it's been fun.
everybody, you wanna tell everybody where they can find you so that they can watch your readings?
Yes. So it's spiritual.essence on TikTok. It's simple. Spiritual.essence on TikTok. That's what it is. Pretty simple. And I have, if you have questions, and I'm not on, in my bio is my email, and I'm always open to answer questions. Always.
Yeah, you're very transparent. That's nice.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah. So I want to thank Shane, my co-host. Good show. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and watching. We had quite a few viewers and chats in the room, so we want to thank everybody. And I will have this uploaded probably on YouTube in a couple days, so you can go ahead and check it out there. You can find me on Studio 6 Paranormal Podcast on Facebook and Instagram and on Twitter. So having said that, I want to thank everybody and have a great evening.